Hi, today we are going to see what is concept learning, which is the foundational topic for the advanced topics in machine learning. So, we are going to see what is concept learning, then we will define or we will see what is a hypothesis, then we will see what is consistent hypothesis, and we are going to see what are the different notations for hypothesis. Before we move on to see what is concept learning, let us spend some time on how learning happens. For example, human beings, how they learn. See, as human beings, we learn many things, mathematics, tables, meanings, and many things we remember and we learn. So, the learning, there are 5 broad categories of learning. The first learning is rote learning, which is actually memorizing without knowing the concept or logic. That's what happens in many classes which are at the primary level. So, they may not understand the logic, but they will just memorize the things. The second one is passive learning, where we learn from a teacher or expert. The third one is analogy learning, which is from the experience. In machine learning, we'll be talking more about inductive learning. Inductive learning. That means we already have some experience, some data. From the existing experience or data, we will formulate a general concept or hypothesis. Based on that, we will evaluate the instances that we have not seen. So, based on what is known, we will test the unknown. This is inductive learning. Then the next one is deductive learning, where we derive rules from the existing rules. That is deductive. So, in inductive, we don't have rules, but we will formulate the rules based on the data. Now, what is a concept? Concept is an idea, is an abstract idea. For example, which animal is present in given image? Is it cat or is it dog? Is it a tiger or is it a lion? There is a concept. How we arrive at whether it is a cat or dog, or who is present. Suppose if it is a self-driving vehicle, who is present in front of the vehicle? Is it an animal? Is it a man? Or is it a woman? Is it a child? Is it a bird? Is it a snake? Or what is that object? That question itself is the concept. So, how a machine can learn a concept? To learn a concept, we need data in inductive learning. A training, especially we call it as training data. Now, let us take a concept whether some person, maybe Kiran, is COVID positive or not. So, the data I have, training data will have some features. For example, here we have taken 6 features: fever, cough, cold, smell loss, taste loss, breathing problem. All these are binary features taking yes or no. And based on that, we have COVID positive yes or no. So, in out of 4 examples, 3 are we have yes. Here we have 1, 2, 3. These 3 are called positive examples. And which has answer no, it is called a negative example. So, we have 3 positive examples and 1 negative example. Now, we may have many concepts. In that, we want to learn a concept whether Kiran affected with COVID or not. So, here These values are x. We can say that all these are set of x: fever, cough, cold, smell, loss. Based on this, we can learn many concepts, but here we are interested only in whether Kiran is affected with COVID or not. So this is called a target concept. A target concept in which we are interested. It is a target concept. So the concept or a function to be learned is called the target concept. It is denoted by C. It is denoted by C, and we can also define the target concept as a Boolean function. So a concept or a function to be learned is called target concept. It is denoted by C, which can be defined as a Boolean value x 0 or 1. If it is yes, it is 1. If it is no, it is 0. So this is the concept space. In that we are interested in only C. That is known as target concept. Now let us move on to see another important aspect known as hypothesis. What is an hypothesis? A hypothesis is an explanation for something. For example, suppose India team wins. Everyone will have an hypothesis. Somebody will say team composition is not good, that is his hypothesis. Somebody will say bowling is not good, that is his hypothesis. Some other will say fielding was not good, that is his hypothesis. So hypothesis is an explanation for a concept. It is a provisional idea or an educated guess that can stand some evaluation. A good hypothesis is testable. It can be either true or false. Now, example, if you see the data that we have taken, there are 4 examples. We can form 4 hypotheses. In other words, hypothesis is a set of constraints applied. Now, this is an hypothesis. In this hypothesis, we are applying a constraint on the value of fever. Fever can take the values yes or no. But here I am applying a constraint saying that the value should be yes. If the fever is yes, if the cough is no, cold is no, smell loss is yes, and taste loss is yes, breathing problem is present, then we say that he is COVID positive. He is COVID positive. So H of x is equal to C of x. So this is an hypothesis. So here we can form 4 different hypotheses from the given data. Technically, in machine learning, hypothesis formulation is a function approximation. Given the input, how we can formulate the relation between input and output. For example, you have x and function of x. This is 0, this is 0, this is 1, this is 1, this is 2, this is 4, this is 3, this is 9. So, I want to get what is this relation between function of x and x. Maybe x square here. Because there is simple data, I could formulate immediately it is x square. But in many situations, this formulation is not as simple as we see. So that is known as hypothesis. How we can best map inputs to outputs in all possible observation. That means it should satisfy all the training examples. That is known as hypothesis. So common notation, small h is a single hypothesis, capital H is set of hypothesis or a space. We may have many hypotheses, H1, H2, H3. Now, concept learning as a search problem. What we are searching? We are searching the hypothesis space for a best hypothesis. So, concept learning is searching through the space of hypothesis for a best hypothesis. This is the definition given by Tom Mitchell, the author of machine learning textbook. So, coming to the hypothesis notations, hypothesis may contain all pi's. That means it will not accept any value. That means if you take COVID positive problem, whatever may be the attributes, he will not be COVID positive. That means C of x is always 0. That is null hypothesis or most specific, not null hypothesis, most specific hypothesis. It will not accept any value. On the other hand, there is hypothesis with all question marks. That means it can accept any value, whether fever is present or not, whether cough is present or not, whether cold is present or not. Always he will be COVID positive. That means C of x is always 1. This is known as most general hypothesis. In the coming sessions, we are going to see how to formulate an hypothesis and how to search this hypothesis space. Thank you.